The story begins on a beautiful day when the main character, Nam, is dragged by his mother to the front door to greet the new neighbor. "Say hello, son," his mother tells him. The student standing in front of them is introduced. "This is the daughter of my friend. From now on, she will be living with us on the second floor." "What, Mom, you didn't say anything about this," the main character whispers to his mother, confused. "Why is there suddenly a girl living on the second floor?" His mother nonchalantly replies, "This is my house. I can do whatever I want. Now go say hello to her." Urged by his mother, the main character has no choice but to greet the other person. He blushes, bows his head awkwardly, and stammers, hello." The girl warmly extends her hand towards Nam, saying, "Hi, I'm Lee Min-chae." The beautiful girl speaks up, "Nice to meet you." Standing in front of such a beautiful person, Nam, who has a natural shyness around girls, doesn't know how to respond. He nervously shakes her hand, stammering, "Hello, I'm Kim Jae-hyuk." Kim Jae-hyuk, 17 years old, bows his head shyly, unable to face the beautiful Lee Min-chae, who is the same age as him. Jae-hyuk's family lives in a spacious two-story house. The first floor is where Jae-hyuk and his mother live, while the second floor, which used to be a storage room, has now been cleaned up to make room for Lee Min-chae, the new girl who just moved in. "You go to Aeon-min High School, right?" Min-chae asks, breaking Jae-hyuk's train of thought. She smiles as she speaks, "I'm transferring to that school tomorrow too. Let's help each other out, okay?" Min-chae continues cheerfully. Jae-hyuk shyly nods with his head down, "Why yes," while his thoughts scatter, "What? She's transferring to my school? I'm off to work." Min-chae and Jae-hyuk, "You two help with unpacking," says Jae-hyuk's mother, satisfied with the harmony between the two children, as she grabs her bag and leaves. Min-chae politely replies, "Yes, have a good day, ma'am," and bows to her. Jae-hyuk, on the other hand, only manages to say, "Goodbye, Mom." Now that only the two of them were left, Jae-hyuk looked at Min-chae, feeling flustered. His mind was already conjuring up all kinds of scenarios. Seeing Min-chae carefully see his mother off, Jae-hyuk thought to himself, "It seems like she's someone who knows how to be respectful." However, the thought made him sweat, as he awkwardly considered how his shyness around girls was flaring up. "I'm not good at talking to girls. What should I do in this situation?" "Hey," the girl called out. While Jae-hyuk was still feeling shy and struggling to find a topic to talk about, Min-chae nonchalantly put her hand into her pocket, searching for something. Realizing that what she needed wasn't there, she pulled out a cigarette from her pocket and turned to Jae-hyuk, asking, "Do you have a lighter?" Jae-hyuk's jaw dropped, not believing his ears. "Did she just ask me if I have a lighter? I asked if there's a lighter in your house," Min-chae said, hands on her hips, when she saw Jae-hyuk just standing there, dumbfounded. She threw in a casual insult, "Idiot." Jae-hyuk was frozen, shocked and unable to say a word. "It feels like the romantic scenario I just imagined got kicked up into a tree or something," he thought, confused. Is this girl a delinquent or what? Seeing Jae-hyuk standing there silently, Min-chae walked closer and asked, "Why aren't you answering?" Clicking her tongue in disdain, she continued, "You can't even look at me directly or give a proper answer?" Jae-hyuk felt humiliated, his face turning red as if he'd just eaten a spicy chili, but he didn't dare talk back because, well, she wasn't wrong. Seeing that Jae-hyuk didn't have the courage to argue, Min-chae triumphantly asked, "So, you're that type, huh? A bookworm?" Being insulted as a bookworm was too much for Jae-hyuk's pride to handle. Did she really just call me a bookworm? The next day at school, Jae-hyuk was cornered by a group of bullies who mocked him. "Let me have your sandwich," one of the bullies, who slung an arm around Jae-hyuk's shoulder, demanded as he effortlessly snatched the sandwich away. Jae-hyuk didn't dare resist, as the bully was twice his size. The red-haired bully insulted Jae-hyuk as a bookworm, laughing along with the gang surrounding them. Jae-hyuk could only lower his head and stand there, silently enduring it. Jae-hyuk gritted his teeth in frustration. "I'm not a bookworm," he thought, even if those bullies kept calling him that. The reason they called Jae-hyuk that was because, from the beginning of the semester, one of them, the red-haired guy, had approached Jae-hyuk during recess, noticing him sitting alone. "I think you're quite nice," the red-haired bully said, startling Jae-hyuk, who was caught off guard. Seeing that Jae-hyuk didn't respond, the red-haired guy grinned widely. "But I'm a bit thirsty. Could you go to the canteen and buy me a banana milk?" "Why should I?" Jae-hyuk replied in surprise. "Go buy it yourself." The red-haired guy raised an eyebrow and said, "Oh, really?" Before Jae-hyuk could say anything else, the red-haired guy landed a powerful punch on Jaehyuk's face, so hard that it knocked him sideways. "You idiot, I told you to buy it, so you better buy it if you don't want to die," the red-haired bully sneered, his true nature finally revealed. Jaehyuk was shocked, too stunned to speak, just staring at the other boy. "Why did you hit me?" he managed to ask, but before he could finish his sentence, the red-haired bully punched him again. "Why did I hit you?" The red-haired guy laughed maniacally, throwing more punches at Jaehyuk's head. "Because you talk back, you idiot. Ha ha ha, stupid bookworm, ha ha ha." Jaehyuk couldn't fight back, he could only cover his head and endure the beating, all while listening to the red-haired bully's insults. From that day on, the bully continued to torment him. Jaehyuk knew the only reason they kept bullying him was because he had been too lenient. But then, the red-haired bully snapped him back to reality. "Hey, you dumb dog. Kim Jaehyuk," the red-haired guy sneered, squeezing Jaehyuk's sandwich in his hand. "I told you before that I hate red bean paste, didn't I? So why did you buy a red bean paste bun this time, huh?" "Sorry, I forgot." Standing in the middle of the bully's circle and the indifference of his classmates, Jaehyuk could only lower his head and apologize, even though he had done nothing wrong. The red-haired bully smirked maliciously. "Haha, alright, everyone can forget sometimes." Just as Jaehyuk thought he would be let off, the red-haired guy landed a sucker punch to his stomach, causing Jaehyuk to collapse immediately. The bully, thrilled, began to warm up his fists while laughing and saying, "But if you make a mistake, you've got to be punished, right? How many hits do you want?" Knowing there was no escape, Jaehyuk painfully said, Three hits." "3 hits, huh?" Of course, the red-haired bully couldn't possibly agree. He laughed, an evil grin on his face. 3 by 3 makes 9 hits. Hearing that, the classmates around them burst into laughter at how twisted he was. "Ha ha ha, this guy's insane." Then, the red-haired bully started delivering blow after blow to Jaehyuk's stomach, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as his friends laughed gleefully. At that moment, one of the classmates reminded him, "Hey, the homeroom teacher's coming." The red-haired bully, upon hearing this, stopped hitting Jaehyuk. He walked back to his seat, laughing menacingly, "Ha ha ha, Jaehyuk, I'll finish the rest later. Playing with this dog is so much fun. Ha ha ha." In pain, tears welled up in Jaehyuk's eyes as he clenched his teeth, silently cursing the bullies. The homeroom teacher entered the classroom, slamming a thick stack of documents on the desk to get the class to settle down and return to their seats. "Is anyone absent today?" the teacher asked. "Today, we have a new transfer student in our class." As the teacher spoke, someone walked in behind him. The class buzzed with chatter. Jaehyuk, curious, pulled his chair back and looked up, recognizing the person instantly. His eyes widened in shock. "Please introduce yourself," the teacher said, and the new student nodded politely. "Hello," Lee Min-chae said cheerfully in the school uniform. "My name is Lee Min-chae. Nice to meet you all," Min-chae continued. "Please help me out if you can." The whole class clapped and cheered, while Jaehyuk, still in shock, thought to himself, "She's really pretty. She's the one who just moved to the second floor of my house." Jaehyuk wondered, why did she transfer to my class? "Alright, we need to find a seat for Min-chae," the homeroom teacher said. "Where should she sit?" "Oh, there's an empty seat." The teacher quickly spotted an unoccupied desk at the back of the row, right behind Jaehyuk. "Jaehyuk?" Min-chae repeated, surprised. It seemed like she had heard that name before. Following the teacher's direction, Min-chae widened her eyes in surprise. Jaehyuk, feeling her intense gaze, began to sweat nervously. "He's that bookworm who lives on the floor below," Min-chae thought to herself with a hint of disappointment. Meanwhile, Jaehyuk awkwardly wondered, how could this coincidence happen? "Alright, let's get ready for the first period," the homeroom teacher reminded everyone as Min-chae casually walked to her seat. Jaehyuk, still flustered, stole a glance at her. Jaehyuk bit his lip, feeling shy, not knowing what expression to show. And now this girl is sitting right behind me. Even though his mother had told him to help her out, Jaehyuk thought, what can a bookworm like me possibly do to help? Suddenly, a foot from behind poked Jaehyuk in the back. Startled, he turned around, feeling something had just touched his back. Right in front of him was Min-chae, one leg still raised under the desk, holding a small piece of paper in her hand, as if she wanted to give it to him. With a flick of her wrist, Min-chae tossed the note towards Jaehyuk. The piece of paper fell freely from Min-chae's hand, flying towards Jaehyuk's face with the force of a Newton. Jaehyuk caught the paper and opened it, revealing the words, Hey, bookworm, don't act like you know me, okay? Furious, Jaehyuk crumpled the paper in his hand, thinking, even if you acted like you knew me, I wouldn't have the courage to respond. It was as if Min Chae could read his thoughts, looking at him with a smug expression. We have nothing to do with each other, Jaehyuk thought angrily. When recess arrived, everyone went outside to play, except for Jaehyuk, who remained at his desk, diligently solving math problems. Even so, Jaehyuk kept thinking about the note in his hand. She's the new student. It wouldn't be right to just leave things like this. With that thought, Jaehyuk pretended to leave his seat, then stealthily placed a neatly folded note on Min Chae's desk. What's this? Min Chae asked, but Jaehyuk, too embarrassed, quickly bolted out of the room without saying anything. Curious, Min Chae unfolded the note and saw that Jaehyuk had drawn a map of the school for her. She sighed in bewilderment. During recess in the bathroom, Jaehyuk was cornered by the same group of bullies from earlier. The red-haired ringleader spoke up, so, how many were we short last time? Jaehyuk, in misery, replied, 4 more. He gritted his teeth. The red-haired bully smirked, cracking his knuckles. This time, it's your jaw that's going to get it. Jaehyuk trembled, clenching his teeth, too scared to lift his head, silently cursing the parents of these bastards. The red-haired bully grinned, raising his hand. Jaehyuk shut his eyes, bracing himself for a brutal punch, but instead, he felt a strange, gentle caress on his cheek. I'm not going to hit you, don't worry, the red-haired guy said, stroking Jaehyuk's cheek. I'm not that bad. Jaehyuk was horrified by the sudden change in the bully's demeanor. He was confused, wondering what had gotten into this crazy guy. But Jaehyuk, I need a favor from you, the red-haired bully whispered, sending chills down Jaehyuk's spine. Jaehyuk asked nervously, what is it? I heard you're pretty smart, right? The bully continued, asking a completely unrelated question, which surprised Jaehyuk. Really? Jaehyuk exclaimed, astonished. The bully's friends burst out laughing, interrupting him. He looks like a gaming addict, one of them sneered. Jaehyuk, annoyed, thought, you don't look much better. You're like a drug addict yourself, so who are you to criticize me? I'm serious, the red-haired guy insisted, patting Jaehyuk on the shoulder. The class president said you're really smart. This Jaehyuk guy was even top of the class in middle school. His friends scoffed in disbelief, laughing loudly. That guy? A genius? No way. Jaehyuk was puzzled, thinking, sure, I did well on exams back then, but so what? The red-haired bully, still holding Jaehyuk's hand gently like a girl in love, said, help me out in the midterm exams, will you? He said it so casually, as if he were telling a joke, except Jaehyuk didn't find it funny at all. Jaehyuk, confused, asked again, help with the midterm exams? What do you mean? Oh, you idiot. The red-haired bully, finally losing his patience, dropped the act and got serious. I'm telling you to write the answers down on a sheet and pass it to me. Write the answers down on a sheet? Jaehyuk stammered, thinking there must be something wrong with his ears. If I get caught, I'm done for. But Sang-bio, one of the red-haired guy's friends asked curiously, why do you suddenly want to do well on the midterm? Sang-bio, the red-haired bully, smirked and replied with a hollow laugh, haha, I'm planning to study abroad, but my damn mom won't let me. Frustrated, he added, if I do well on the midterms, I might get to go. I just want to get the hell out of South Korea. The group seemed to understand and responded, ah, so that's why you want high scores. Basically, yeah, Sang-bio said, turning back to Jaehyuk and patting him on the shoulder. So, are you going to help me or not, you little shit? Seeing Jaehyuk staying silent, Sang-bio raised his voice, what's it going to be? Jaehyuk, sweating profusely, thought, if I get caught helping him cheat, it's going to be a huge problem. Damn it, you. Sang-bio, now furious, kneed Jaehyuk in the side. The unexpected blow made Jaehyuk spit out saliva and collapse to the ground, clutching his stomach and coughing violently. Damn it, I'm asking you again. Sang-bio shouted, refusing to let Jaehyuk go. He squatted down, watching Jaehyuk cough and sputter, and asked, are you going to help or not? Tears and snot mixed on Jaehyuk's face as he, in utter misery, finally agreed, silently cursing these damn bastards in his mind. Smart choice, Sang-bio sneered. When I go abroad, you'll be better off since you won't have to see me anymore, right? Thinking it was over, Jaehyuk was taken aback when Sang-bio narrowed his eyes. But Jaehyuk, he said, noticing the burning anger and hatred on Jaehyuk's face, are you giving me attitude? Got a problem with me or something? Sang-bio's expression turned cold, his hand ready to deliver another brutal punch. Can't you relax your face? Sang Bio shouted, throwing a punch straight at Jaehyuk's face. Can't you relax those facial muscles? With each shout, he landed punch after punch on Jaehyuk's face. Jaehyuk, now clutching his bloodied face, cried helplessly. When he finally removed his hands, revealing a broken nose, he forced a smile and said, "I'm sorry, Sang Bio." "You're right, that's much better." "Haha, yeah, you look better when you smile," Sang Bio said, satisfied, his twisted grin stretching as he wiped the blood splatter off his own face. "Alright, I'm counting on you for the exams, Jaehyuk," Sang Bio said as he happily led his gang out, leaving Jaehyuk behind. "That kid only listens when you beat him up," one of the bullies remarked as they left, their laughter still echoing back to where Jaehyuk sat. "But that kid is smarter than I thought," another one said. "With a face that ugly, he has to be smart to make up for it, right?" Haha. Left alone, Jaehyuk couldn't hold it in anymore. Tears streamed down his face, mixing with the blood from his broken nose. In reality, more than excelling in studies, Jaehyuk wished he was better at using his fists. He wanted to send those bullies back to the dirt. Jaehyuk broke down crying helplessly, but his eyes were filled with burning hatred. As dusk fell, the two-story house lit up. Jaehyuk and his mother were cooking dinner in the kitchen. After a moment of silence, his mother spoke up, "Jaehyuk, go call Min Chae down." "Why?" Jaehyuk asked, surprised. "Of course, to eat dinner," his mother replied calmly. Jaehyuk, feeling awkward, started sweating. He was extremely shy about eating with a girl. "Since we live together, we have to eat together," his mother added cheerfully, urging Jaehyuk to do as she said. With no other choice, Jaehyuk reluctantly obeyed and slowly made his way upstairs, thinking to himself, "Well, now that we're living together, there's no avoiding it." Standing in front of Min Chae's wooden door, Jaehyuk gently knocked. Hearing no response, he knocked louder and called out, but still, there was no answer. "Is she not inside?" he wondered. "Come in," Min Chae's voice suddenly called out from inside, surprising Jaehyuk. "She's telling me to come in?" he thought as he hesitated at the door handle. "It should be okay, right?" Min Chae had just finished showering and was still wrapped in a towel, humming along to the music as she stepped out. "Come in, step into my heart," she sang. Seeing Jaehyuk step into her room uninvited, Min Chae's expression turned to rage. "What the hell, you pervert," she shouted. In a flash, she grabbed the electric kettle nearby and hurled it straight at Jaehyuk's face. Jaehyuk couldn't react in time and took the full impact of the kettle, falling to the floor, completely bewildered. "Hey," Min Chae called out as she walked over, nudging him with her foot. Hey. It wasn't until the third attempt that Jaehyuk finally regained consciousness. "Wake up, you bookworm," Min Chae said as she finished getting dressed, now standing over him, kicking him while speaking in a harsh tone. What happened?" Jaehyuk stammered, still dazed and confused, barely back to his senses. "What happened? Don't you remember?" Min Chae, arms crossed, looked down at Jaehyuk. "You passed out because I hit you with the electric kettle, you idiot. Damn, are you a pervert or what? Just barging into a girl's room without knocking first, what's wrong with you?" "Sorry," Jaehyuk quickly apologized, remembering the embarrassing incident. "It's just that you said, 'Come in,' so I thought it was okay. And my mom told me to come up and ask you to join us for dinner, so If you ever come in without permission again, I'll make sure you get a lot more than that," Min Chae warned, glaring at him. "You disgusting creep." Jaehyuk, unfairly insulted, could do nothing but silently endure it. At dinner, Min Chae took a spoonful of the soup and praised, "This soybean paste soup is amazing, ma'am. It's the best I've ever had." Overjoyed by the compliment, Jaehyuk's mother responded, "Oh my, that's wonderful. Mi Son told me you liked soybean paste soup, so I made it just for you." "Really?" Min Chae exclaimed, genuinely delighted. "This is honestly the best soybean paste soup I've ever tasted. You're the best. Even your words are so kind." Jaehyuk's mother, beaming with pride, added, "I made a lot, so feel free to join us for meals often." Jaehyuk, observing this, thought to himself, so she's the type to butter up adults, huh? He couldn't help but feel annoyed by how well they got along, wondering, or is it just me she treats like dirt? "Mom, let's eat," Jaehyuk interrupted, noticing his mother was too busy talking to actually start eating. At that moment, his mother curiously asked Min Chae, "Why did you come here alone?" Though slightly embarrassed, Min Chae humbly replied, "I'm actually here to study." Jaehyuk, hearing this, found it hard to believe. "What, you're here to study?" Jaehyuk couldn't contain his surprise and jumped up, exclaiming loudly, "You came here to study? Are you serious? Realizing how over the top his reaction was, Jaehyuk quickly regretted it, especially when he saw Min Chae looking at him as if he were mentally challenged. Ignoring Jaehyuk's outburst, Min Chae continued, "Actually, my grandfather owns a building in the countryside. He promised to leave it to whichever grandchild gets into a university in Seoul." "A whole building? Wow, your grandfather is really something," Jaehyuk's mother exclaimed, impressed. Jaehyuk, sitting beside her, was equally amazed and a bit envious, thinking to himself. Min Chae responded enthusiastically, "I use that as motivation to study hard." Although in truth, that wasn't entirely the reason. Living in the countryside, the quality of education isn't as good as it is here, Min Chae explained. "I've mostly focused on sports since I was little, so this is my first time really studying seriously. That's why I came to Seoul," she added. Jaehyuk's mother nodded with approval. "That's great, Min Chae. Study hard and become the owner of that building. If your grandfather is giving you an entire building, that's really impressive." Jaehyuk thought to himself, "Wow, and she's also good at sports. What's next?" Suddenly, his mother seemed to remember something and pointed at Jaehyuk. "When it comes to studying, there's someone here you can't overlook. Our very own top student, Kim Jaehyuk." "Him?" Min Chae was stunned. "He's the top student in the whole school? Are you really the top student in the school?" Min Chae asked skeptically. Jaehyuk could only awkwardly confirm with a nod. What's with that expression on her face? Jaehyuk thought, annoyed. "But no matter what, my son has never missed the title of top student in the whole school, even though he might look a bit silly," Jaehyuk's mother said proudly, patting him on the back. Mom, why do you say I look silly?" Jaehyuk protested, exasperated. "He's probably smart just like his mom," she added enthusiastically. Jaehyuk immediately denied it. "No way." Min Chae furrowed her brows in thought but politely thanked her. "Thank you for the meal." "Alright, Min Chae, you can go upstairs now," Jaehyuk's mother said as she and Jaehyuk started washing the dishes. The meal was really delicious. "Thank you very much," Min Chae said as she bowed deeply at a 90-degree angle. Jaehyuk's mother, pleased with her manners, smiled warmly. However, Jaehyuk remained puzzled, still unable to figure out Min Chae's true nature. "Hey, Bookworm, let's talk for a bit," Min Chae suddenly whispered to Jaehyuk. Jaehyuk followed Min Chae as they walked away from the house. "Hey, where are we going?" Jaehyuk asked, noticing they had gone quite far. Min Chae stopped, sat down, and casually pulled out a cigarette, lighting it up. "Hey, top student," Min Chae said, looking at Jaehyuk, "teach me how to study." Jaehyuk was startled. "What, study?" "No," he refused firmly. "Why not?" Min Chae exclaimed, shocked. "If I inherit that building, I'll do you a favor," she offered. "No," Jaehyuk turned his back to Min Chae and said, "It's not about that. I don't like being bullied, so I won't teach people who bully others." With that, he started walking away. "That damned jerk," Min Chae muttered angrily. "Fine, then I'll introduce you to a girlfriend," she shouted after him. "There are tons of beautiful girls in my hometown. What's the point?" Jaehyuk thought to himself. "They're all just bullies too. There's even one who likes guys like you, and she's got a big chest." Min Chae continued, trying to tempt him. Jaehyuk hesitated for a moment, almost swayed by her words. "No, I can't let myself be tricked like this," he thought, shaking his head to clear his mind as he continued walking away. Just then, a strange voice interrupted, "Then introduce her to me instead." Jaehyuk was startled and turned around to see one of the three thugs from earlier approaching Min Chae. "Come on, introduce her to us," the thug said, and Jaehyuk recognized them as the local delinquents who often loitered around. "Damn, but you're pretty hot yourself," one of them sneered, leaning closer to Min Chae. "No need to introduce your friend. Where are you from? Come have a drink with us." He extended his hand towards Min Chae, his tone sleazy. "No, thanks," Min Chae coldly rejected him. "What?" The thug laughed. "We've got plenty of money, come on." Jaehyuk panicked, thinking, what should I do? If this continues, things could get serious. He looked around, but there was no one nearby to ask for help. "Come on, don't be shy," the thug continued, grabbing Min Chae's arm. "I can tell you like men. We won't leave you lonely, come on." "I should call 911. Jaehyuk thought quickly as he pulled out his phone to call the police. "Yeah, I like men," Min Chae said coldly, her head lowered. "I knew it. Come on, let's go with us," the fat thug said smugly. "But you," Min Chae said as she stood up, her hand reaching out to grab the fat thug by the neck, "are just a disgusting pig." With that, Min Chae yanked his head down and delivered a powerful knee strike straight to his chin. What the? Jaehyuk gasped in horror. The fat thug was knocked out instantly by the brutal strike. Did she really just take him down with one knee? Jaehyuk couldn't believe his eyes. Seeing their friend unconscious, the remaining two thugs lost their temper. You bitch, do you want to die? One of them yelled. Damn it. The thug with banana yellow hair charged at Min Chae. Jaehyuk, frozen in place, watched in disbelief as Min Chae took up a defensive stance, like someone with a black belt. You're dead, the yellow-haired thug snarled, his face contorted with rage. Before the thug could attack, Min Chae effortlessly landed a punch to his face. The powerful strike broke his nose instantly, but she didn't stop there. She followed up with an uppercut to his chin, and the thug crumpled to the ground, unconscious. Jaehyuk covered his mouth, utterly shocked. What the hell just happened? He thought. Did she really just knock out 3 guys in the blink of an eye? With only one thug left, the guy with a buzz cut hesitated, seeing his comrades knocked out cold. You bitch, he yelled, what the hell are you? I can lift weights 500 times in 3 different exercises, Min Chae said, her voice calm and collected, and I have a second-degree black belt in Dentikono. The buzz-cut thug threw a punch, but Min Chae swiftly dodged it, ducking under his arm before slamming her elbow into his face. The thug dropped to the ground next to his fallen friends. Now, all 3 thugs lay unconscious at Min Chae's feet, while Jaehyuk stood nearby, paralyzed with fear. What did I just witness? He wondered, his mouth hanging open in disbelief. She took down 3 guys in just a few seconds? I've only ever practiced sports, so studying is a bit new to me, Min Chae had said to his mother earlier. She really meant she only did sports, but that sport. Jaehyuk started to piece it together. He cautiously approached Min Chae. Li Min Chae, Jaehyuk called out. What? Min Chae snapped, still rubbing her wrist. Didn't you leave already? No, I'm still here, Jaehyuk replied. And since I'm still here, shouldn't we call the police at least, you idiot? You. Jaehyuk stammered. What kind of sport did you say you practiced? Min Chae looked at him, confused, and replied, martial arts. Jaehyuk swallowed nervously, recalling how he'd been manhandled by Sang Bio earlier. His fists clenched unconsciously. Could this be an opportunity for me? He wondered. Li Min Chae, Jaehyuk said with newfound determination, I'll help you study. Min Chae looked at him in surprise. In exchange, Jaehyuk continued, teach me how to fight.